So, in last period, we have completed the embryonic development. Now, in this particular lecture, we will learn about the birth control. Now, it is a natural process. If we see in some religions, there is some odd thinking. The people or the couples or the population think that the God has given us such a gift, we should accept it. But if we see practically, then it is not a possible thing, because our Earth surface is not geometrically increased, but our population is geometrically increased. From one couple, there are two childs. From the two childs, again two childs are taking birth. So it increases. If we see in past days, before 20 to 30 years, our population was below 1 crore. Now it is alarming, taking alarming position. So there is a need to control the birth. And if you say practically, for some population, they cannot give proper nutrition, they cannot give proper care to the child which takes birth. So there is a need to control birth. There is a need to control birth, and that is called as what? Birth control. That is called as what? Birth control. Prevention of fertilization deliberately by taking different measures. When we deliberately avoid pregnancy by avoiding fertilization by different measures, and that different measures are called as what? Contraceptives. They are called as what? Contraceptives. Birth control. And it is in need of time. It is in need of time. Practically thinking, it is a must thing. Birth control. So, avoiding fertilization or avoiding pregnancy. Avoiding pregnancy or fertilization by taking measures. Various measures. And that measures are called as what? Contraceptives. Because if you see, in some religions, the marriage takes place very early. So, at that particular time, the growth of the reproductive structure of female is not developed, and suppose there is a pregnancy, then there will be a problem in child. There may be genetical problem, there may be other problems of various organ problems. Then it adheres the development of that particular child mentally also and physically also. So there is a need of particular birth control. So by the contraceptive methods, the birth can be controlled, and these contraceptive methods can be divided into two types. Contraceptive methods can be divided into two types. Some contraceptives are used temporary method, and some methods are permanent. Permanent method. Because in temporary method, what we see, if a woman bears one child, then it cannot bear second child after 1 year. It can take gap. After 5 years, after 6 years, if you want to bear pregnancy, then these temporary methods are used. These temporary methods or temporary contraceptives are used. And if a woman wants to terminate the pregnancy for the lifetime, then this permanent method is applied for you. Then the permanent method is applied for you. So first of all, we will see the temporary methods. In temporary methods, there are about 6 methods. First of all, we will see first method, that is natural method. That is natural method. It is also called as safe period or rhythm period In this method, what happens? After a week before menstruation and a week after menstruation, this period is a safe period for intercourse. A week before, and a week after menstruation is a safe period for sexual intercourse. Because if you see, this is totally depend upon the ovulation stage. If you see, from the first day of menstruation, if we take at the 14th day after menstruation begins, on the 14th day there is a ovulation process, and one ovum is discharged, female gamete is discharged. So therefore, a week before and a week after, this period is said to be a safe period. But this method has also drawbacks. Sometimes the ovum can survive for a long period. It is said that for 24 hours ovum survives, but in some cases it may survive long, and at that time then there may be a conception of that particular woman. So this method has also an drawback. Then second method is coitus interruptus. Or this method is also called as withdrawal. So in this method, what happens? It is a very common method. It is used by some males. What happens? When during the intercourse, at the end point of the intercourse, when a female ejaculates the semen in vagina, at that very point, the penis is withdrawn from the vagina of the woman, and the semen is discharged outside the vagina. So there is no entry of semen in that particular woman's vagina, so chances of fertilization are reduced, or there is no fertilization. There is no fertilization. So this method is called as what? Coitus interruptus or withdrawal. What is withdrawn? Penis is withdrawn before ejaculation of semen. And why it is called as interruptus? There is an interruption of ejaculation during the intercourse process or copulation process. It is not completed, and before completion it is break. So interruptus word is used there. So withdrawal of penis before ejaculation of semen. It is the in this method, that method is used. So coitus interruptus, this is again a natural process. Then third, lactational amenorrhea. Lactational. Lactational amenorrhea. So in lactational amenorrhea, there is absence of menstruation. We have seen what is lactation. When the woman gives birth to a child, then there is a lactation. There is a ejection of milk from the mammary glands or the breast of the woman. That process we call it as a lactation. And when it happens? After giving child to the birth. And in this period, when the mother is feeding, breastfeeding is there, there is stoppage of the menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle is not there. And so, if menstrual cycle is not there, there is no chance of forming ovulation process. There is no chance of forming female gamete. So, during this period, if there is a sexual intercourse, then chances of pregnancy is not there. Then chances of pregnancy is not there because there is no ovulation, there is no menstruation, and if there is no menstruation, there is no formation of ovum. And if there is no formation of ovum, then if the sperms are released, where they will reach, they did not get the ovum, so there is no fertilization. So this method is also a natural method in which pregnancy is avoided. But in some cases, it has also a drawback. This has also a drawback. I will tell you. Drawback. In some cases, the woman can conceive the child. In some cases, woman can conceive the child. Same is the condition in coitus interruptus, because during ejaculation, ejaculation of semen, prior some fluid is given out by the penis, and in some cases a sperm can be there in that pre-ejaculatory fluid. So there is a chance of fertilization, there is a chance of pregnancy in this period. Such is the condition in this period. In some cases there may be ovulation, because the sexual intercourse may give stimulation for ovulation. Sexual intercourse may give stimulation, or some women's body can have that process, ovulation process. So there is a drawback to this lactational amenorrhea. So pregnancy is also can be maintained in more cases, but some drawback is there. In some cases they may conception. Then chemical means. Fourth method, chemical means. In chemical means, certain chemicals, certain jellies, certain tubes are used, certain tablets are used, and they are used in the vagina of the woman. If they are put in this vagina, before copulation, before mating, then what happens if the semen is poured, ejaculated in the vagina? These chemicals they kill that sperm, they immobilize them. They immobilize sperms or kill the sperm. Some women use this process by using some jellies, some tablets, some tubes are used by the women. They are kept before copulation process in the vagina of that particular woman, and due to these chemicals, the sperms are immobilized or they may be killed and the pregnancy is avoided. So chemical means. Then fifth type, mechanical means. Fifth type, mechanical means. So, in mechanical means, we will see that ovum and sperms are avoided from mating. Their physical mating is avoided. Physical mating of sperm and ovum is avoided, is prevented. We can say prevented, and so there is no formation of zygote or pregnancy is avoided. So in this method, first type we will see by condom method, by using condom. The pregnancy can be avoided. If we see condoms are available in each government hospitals. It is a rubber-like structure, plastic-like structure, which is used by the males also, and there is also a female condom present. There is also a male condom. Before mating, before copulation, the males, what happens? They cover their penis with the help of this condom, and by covering this penis, then they start the copulation process or a mating process. So when there is a ejaculation, the semen is stored or semen is ejaculated in this bag-like structure or in this condom, and this condom is used only once time and it is thrown outside or it is destroyed. So condom method, by this method the pregnancy can be avoided. Then it is the safest method. It is the safest method which does not have any side effect. And government also promotes this condom method of avoiding pregnancy. Then second method is diaphragm. Cervical caps. Cervical caps and warts. By this method, also pregnancy can be avoided. In this method, what happens? Some rubber devices are fitted in the genital organs of the woman. Mainly through the cervix, the sperms enter or the semen enters, and in this cervix is covered by these rubber fittings, and that are called as diaphragm or cervical caps or warts. That are called as cervical warts or caps. In this method, these are used and they block or the entry of sperm is avoided in the uterus, because the cervix is completely blocked, and through this cervix no sperm can enter in the uterus, so there is no problem, or there is no question of reaching the sperm to the ovum in the fallopian tube. So these methods are also used, and this mechanical instrument can be fitted in the tract, in the genital tract of the woman, mainly at the it covers the cervix. It covers the cervix and avoids the entry of the sperm in the uterus. So this is the mechanical when they are called as this is the diaphragm. Then third method, intrauterine device, IUDs. Intrauterine devices. So IUDs, these are the plastic or metal objects fitted in the uterus. There is one word, uterine. So it is from uterus. So this metal or rubber packings or rubber plastic metal objects are fitted in the uterus, and there are different types of these IUDs. Some IUDs, what they do, they attract the macrophages, and these macrophages do the phagocytosis of the sperm. Some devices are there which secretes hormones, certain hormones, and these certain hormones makes uterus unsuitable for the implantation. Unsuitable for the implantation. Some devices, IUDs, are like that. They suppress the sperm motility. They suppress, or they does not allow the sperm motility or sperm to move. And if the sperm does not move, it cannot reach to the fallopian tube, and there is no fertilization. So some IUDs also disallow the sperm mobility or motility. So there is no motility, there is no chance of fertilization. So IUDs work like this. Some do phagocytosis, some do they suppress the sperm motility, and in some cases hormone IUDs, what they do, they disallow the uterus for implantation process, implantation of the embryo, they disallow it. So such is the third method. So we have finished here the fifth type, mechanical means, or it is also called as barrier method. It is also called as barrier method. Then we will see the sixth type, physiological method. Physiological method. Or it is also called as oral devices. Oral devices. So in physiological process, what happens? Tablets or pills are used, and these tablets or pills avoid the process of pregnancy, prevent the pregnancy, because in the tablets or pills they are made up of progesterone and estrogen. They are made up of progesterone and estrogen, and these progesterone and estrogen inhibit ovulation. The progesterone and inhibits ovulation. Means by this method, by using the tablets or pills, the ovulation is stopped. There is no production of ovum. So if there is a sexual intercourse, sperm will reach to fallopian tube. But if there is no ovum, then fertilization will be avoided. And if fertilization is there, no pregnancy will be there. So pills method, this method also used by many more couples, or in India it is also used on large scale, and government also promotes the some pills like Saheli, which are stocked in the government hospitals and provided to the many women, so that pregnancy is avoided. So these are the physiological means. Then we will see the seventh type. We will see the next type, seventh type. Other contraceptives. In other contraceptives, sometimes in our country it is not used, but in other countries like Australia and England, a mastic-like structure or a rod-like tiny structure is there, up to the size of mastic. This structure is fitted in the upper arm of the woman, and in this structure there is a hormone, progesterone and estrogen is present in this particular structure, and this progesterone hormone avoids the ovulation process up to 3 to 4 years. Tiny structure. Its shape is like mastic or rod-like, fitted in the upper arm of the woman. And this bears what? Progesterone and estrogen. And due to the progesterone and estrogen, ovulation is avoided. And pregnancy is avoided by this method for 3 to 4 years. So these are the temporary methods. All these are the temporary method for temporary basis. After some period, this pregnancy can be avoided. Now we will see the next type, permanent method. That is permanent method. So second method of contraceptive is permanent method. In permanent method, there are two means: vasectomy, and second is tuberctomy. In vasectomy, if you see, the Vasa difference of male reproductive system. Now, what is Vasa difference? If you see, in structure of male, this is the testis. From this testis, what we see? A tube-like structure arises. From this, a tube-like structure arises from epididymis, and it reaches to the ejaculatory tract. This is called as what? Vasa difference. Through this Vasa difference, the sperms are carried. This Vasa difference is cut here, and a clip is avoided. here again it is here cut, and here it is tied by a thread or a clip. So this again, this tube is also cut here. This is tied here. This is tied here. So if the sperms are produced, they can reach up to this point only. Up to this point only. And there is no transfer of the sperm in the urethra or in the penis. So there is no problem of transferring sperm to in the vagina of the female. So pregnancy can be avoided permanently. There is no transfer of sperm here. Sperm can reach only here. So this is called as what? Vasectomy. And vasectomy is done in males where vasa differentia is cut and tied. Cut and tied. So this is the permanent method. This is the permanent method. Then second is tuberctomy. Second is tuberctomy. In tuberctomy it is applied for the females. We see the structure of the female. This is the fallopian tubes. Here, this is the ovary. These are the fimbriae here. This is the uterus here. Ovaries are held here. Ovaries are held here. What happens when ovary get burst? The womb is held by this fimbriae and this womb enters the fallopian tube. What happens? And through this fallopian tube, the fertilized zygote enters here. Or the sperm through this fallopian tube, the sperm will enter the vagina through cervix, through uterus, it reaches to the fallopian tube in the ampular region. So, what happens in this process in female? This fallopian tube is cut here. This fallopian tube is cut here and tied. Here it is tied. Means when there is a bursting of the ovary, there is formation of ovum. Ovum will reach here only. It cannot transfer here. The sperm which comes through the vagina, to uterus, to fallopian tube, it can reach here, it cannot reach here. So, in this method, the sperm and ovum is avoided from the mating, and there is no fertilization, means no pregnancy. So, these are the permanent method for lifetime. This is the lifetime gift given by the medical sector. So, in this method, by vasectomy, by tuberctomy, the pregnancy is avoided permanently. Pregnancy is avoided permanently. So, we have seen the birth control method, temporary method and permanent method. Temporary method and permanent method. Now we will see the next point, MTP. We will see the next point, MTP. MTP, long form of what is MTP? Medical termination of pregnancy. What is its meaning? And MTP law is there in 1971. Government of India has passed a law or made a law. That is called as what? MTP Act 1971. That is called as what? MTP Act 1971. And according to this MTP Act, what is that? A woman can have an abortion, or woman can terminate his pregnancy before 12 weeks after conception. Before 12 weeks of conception, or in exceptional women, it can have an termination of pregnancy before 20 weeks. Before 20 weeks. But after 20 weeks, if pregnancy is terminated, then that is a a problem that is banned by the government of India, and it is unlawful, and also it is unethical. So in MTP it is called about medical termination of pregnancy. Medical termination of pregnancy. So in medical termination of pregnancy, it is also called as induced abortion. It is also called as induced because it is the child growth is aborted. So it is called as induced abortion. So it is done by the mechanical means or by artificially you can, and naturally sometimes before 3 months it can happen, but that is a natural process. There is no such law for that natural process. But if there is an artificial termination of this pregnancy after 3 months or before 12 weeks, before 12 weeks there is no problem. We can avoid this. So in MTP, what is there? There is intentional stoppage of or intentional termination of pregnancy. Intentional. It is also called an intentional method, or it will be called as voluntary termination of pregnancy or intentional termination of pregnancy. So sometimes unwanted pregnancy, some person, if they after marriage, if they do not want the child for 4 to 5 years, if they want to settle, then they can terminate their pregnancy, and they can terminate it before 12 weeks or 12 weeks or 20 weeks. So unwanted, sometimes what is there? Unwanted pregnancy. Sometimes fetus abnormality is there, and in some cases the abortion is done or there is termination of pregnancy, and fetus abnormality can be observed by the ultrasound method. Or it can be done by studying amniocentesis. So if there is any abnormality in brain development, abnormality in organ development, abnormality in gene making, so this pregnancy is avoided by this method, MTP. That is also called as MTP. So in amniocentesis, what is there? The amniotic fluid through a needle is taken out from the uterine cavity of the woman. Then by taking it out, it is put in a test tube or in a flask. It is put in the centrifugal machine, and after that the genetic study is there. After that, its genetic study is there, and after the genetic study, the medical practitioner can prefer MTP. If there is such abnormality. But nowadays, this amniocentesis is done for determining the sex, and it is banned by the government. It is banned by the Indian government. The person, the woman, which parent, his husband, is if we force that particular woman, then this is unlawful, and they can be punished by our law. This amniocentesis is done in rarer to rarer cases in which the the doctor have a doubt of abnormality in the fetus. So, amniocentesis, this MTP amniocentesis or ultrasound sonography method is used, and if it is diagnosed that there is some problem to the fetus, then there is termination of the pregnancy. And in MTP Act 1971, abortion is allowed within 12 weeks or more than 12 weeks, up to 20 weeks it is allowed, but after that it is a punishable offense. Then we will see the last point in this lecture, STPs. STP. Sexually transmitted diseases. Sexually transmitted diseases. These are also called as VD, vulnerable diseases. This is also called as vulnerable diseases. So, if a disease is transmitted by a woman or a male through the sexual intercourse, that disease is called as what? STP, sexual transmitted disease. Sexual transmitted disease, and it can be transferred through the intercourse. It can be transferred through the intercourse, and they are having many problems. The first STD is syphilis. Second is gonorrhea. So it is a bacterial, both are the bacterial diseases. If you see in the syphilis, Treponema pallidum. These bacteria, these transfer from male, or it can be transferred from woman to male or from male to woman. What happens? This Treponema pallidum infects our genital organs, rectal organs or oral organs, and there are lesions caused on these organs or to the mucous membranes which are present in that particular structure, genital organ. And these lesions are called as canker. And due to this, what happens? There is a problem in conservation. And there is a problem to the health or the reproductive health of the particular woman or particular person. So this is syphilis. Then gonorrhea. He is a positive agent in Neisseria gonorrhea. So through this Neisseria gonorrhea, this disease is transferred. Because if there is a problem in the genital, if this disease is transferred to the woman or from male to woman or male from woman to male, then there is a problem. But there is a burning sensation during urination in women also and in the male also. Then a pus can come out, oozes out from the penis of the male, or it can come out from the vagina of the female. Sometimes if fetus or pregnancy is there in woman, that child bears some infection. His eyes are also infected. Some infertility problems can occur, or infertility problem can occur in the particular woman, or it can occur in the female child of that particular woman. So it is also a very dangerous disease, and these diseases can be avoided. These diseases can be avoided by proper education, by taking proper medicines. They can be avoided. So we have seen up to this point. In next lecture we will see the next point. So thanks.